Welcome to another episode of the Everyday Game Changers podcast. I am your host, Barion McQueen, and you know how we do each and every week. We talking to game changers in business, community, the arts, music, and more. And today's guest, I could call him the only person I've ever been able to call on this podcast, an artpreneur. Not just entrepreneur. This is taking art to the next level in the physical and in the digital space. I got Marcel Katz in the building. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Studio audience, can I get a round of applause? Yeah, big my man up, man.
Game Changers podcast.
We in the building, man. How are you today?
Good, man. It's my first time, obviously, with Barion, and I'm very excited to get to know you a little better and learn a little bit about more what you do and how you change the game.
I appreciate it, man. So, like, for somebody who doesn't know, like, I know this term, the art plug, is just, I just know it with just virality and just when you think art, your name's kind of the first thing that pop out. Yo, the art plug. The art plug got this crazy event. You're going to the art plug's installation, and it's almost like its own term.
Yeah, it really developed over the past years. It was actually given to me by a good friend. Well, at the time I was managing artists and helping with direction. Okay. And one of my collectors, he's like, man, you're the art plug. You're plugging art. And I was like thinking, I don't know if I really love the name, but yeah. Now him and his friends are calling me this, so I guess it's kind of sticking. Nice. And then I realized that you can change the identity of like what the common perception of that name may be. So I kind of refined the name a little bit, but I kind of kept that. I wanted to go with like a rock and roll kind of style flair, a little like over eccentric. Over the top kind of show-stopping events and stuff like that and productions. Yeah. And it led to, the name sticking and becoming my top, like one of my top projects and brands that I've ever worked on.
That's dope.
It's one of my personalities.
Got it. So, and that is crazy because like some people, like I'm a photographer, published everywhere, right? So people in the photography space know me as Da Vinci. They don't know Barion at all. Like that, I created Framed by Da Vinci was like my alias for the photography space. I loved Leonardo da Vinci forever, and I was like, man, I got to do something with Da Vinci in my name. But every photographer was like shot by, photos by. So I was like, no, my thing is going to be Framed by Da Vinci. And it was like, because I did photo and video. So I'm like, I didn't want to do just films or
videos or frames.
So I'm like, oh, Framed is perfect. And it just kind of was its own thing, Framed by Da Vinci everywhere. And so I kind of feel you on the like, okay, this is Marcel, like this is Barion, and then that's Framed by Da Vinci over there. So who's Marcel Katz?
Marcel Katz, I'm a brand builder, and I like to study different forms of self-expression. One of them, to me, is understanding society and the way people react, and I love psychology. It's one of my favorite subjects. My favorite writer is Malcolm Gladwell. He's written like Blink, Tipping Point, Outliers, stuff like that. And I like to play with different concepts. Sometimes they go backfire big time. Oh yeah. Right. Sometimes they hit really, really well. Nice. And sometimes it's embarrassing. Sometimes it's not. It can be full of honor. But it's how you continue and you keep pushing to come up with these awesome concepts. Well, or terrible ones. Right. But for the most part, as I've progressed, I've come up with several more, and they're different brands and businesses. I'm as an entrepreneur. Yes. Entrepreneur, right? I've been working on different ventures and just trying to really grow myself, grow my brand, and be able to do kind of like what you do, which is help educate people, steer them in the right direction. There's a lot of steps you can not skip, but kind of be aware about so that you don't have to deal with those issues by tuning into something like this. Dope. And I think it's very, very helpful, and it's a great thing that you're doing this.
I appreciate it. When are you first introduced to like the arts? Like what's young Marcel doing? You told me you was bad as a kid, right?
So bad, but so good. Right. I learned a lot. I was definitely a ladies' man. I love girls, and I love to have a good time. I like to party, but things change as you grow and you start to understand your health and maturity and the things you maybe cared about back then aren't really what you care so much about. I care a lot more about family and being around for my nephews and being able to be a good example for other people, especially in my community.
Right.
And I find that I represent Miami. I was born in Miami.
Dope.
And, you know, when I moved here after college, it was very, very competitive to get a job. I went to Florida State. I studied hospitality.
Wow.
My bachelor's. I did study abroad as well. I was fortunate enough to study in Spain and really invest a lot of time with a different culture. Then I came back, obviously looking for jobs. I worked at the Ritz-Carlton Central Park. It was an amazing experience. Central Park, I was away from home, really wanted to be home. I realized that I was kind of, you know, that's my favorite hotel is the Ritz, but not for me when you're working there. I like to experience it. I find that I'm my favorite form of self-expression is how I dress, and I made my own glasses, I make my own clothing as I'm wearing right now.
Fire.
So it's like, I'm me, you know. I don't like to buy into another brand. If I'm going to invest money into something, I'm going to invest in myself.
Of course.
And create my own stuff because
As y'all see, he's the only guest that I would allow to wear shades on this podcast because it's only right. So that's one guy, he comes in.
Try him on.
Man, get me, man. This is a vibe, man. I'm rocking them. I'm with it. I rock these all day, man.
Look good, man. You look like you're about to shoot a music video.
New vibes.
Or podcast.
You see it, but
speaking of that, I actually brought some stuff that I've created. Speaking of creating, and I know you have a dog.
I do, Yayo.
Named Yayo. So we're doing this fundraiser, and it's an event for this animal rescue that a good friend of mine, Isabella, runs. And to create awareness, I created 50 dog or animal bandanas. Right? They're hand painted. They got a little glitter on them.
Oh, he gonna be fancy.
And you fold them up. You put it on your dog. Enjoy. That's one. There's more.
He's bougie too.
Here, I know you like to express yourself around your house with no clothing on sometimes.
Facts.
But here's some socks. You can wear at least some socks on.
To all the future guests, y'all gonna have to step it up because Marcel raising the bar.
And I know you love your mother, and Mother's Day just passed. I just want to make sure you went above and beyond for her. So here's the cherry on top.
Oh my goodness.
It's a canvas. Lately, I've been infatuated with the glitter thing, but it says, "Wow, Mom, it's reversible." And it has a cute little easel. Check it out for you. I like to make things that are, make it easy for the person to enjoy it.
I like it.
Not going so big is not sometimes best.
I love that.
You see that?
I love that. And anybody know me know I'm a mama's boy. So
yeah, me too. I'm such a mama's boy. I love my mom.
No offense to my dad, God rest his soul, but I'm a mama's boy.
Here you go.
So I appreciate this.
That's for you.
Y'all gonna have to step it up.
Marcel, a white glove and we also recycle. We use recycled packaging.
Look at that, man. Y'all gonna have to step it up.
We try to be, as sustainable as possible because we want our kids and their kids to be able to enjoy this planet.
100%.
So we try to really make an effort to do everything. It's more costly, but we use renewable materials to make the glasses. The glasses actually are quite expensive to produce because of the material.
That's fire.
But everything's made usually in Italy. We don't produce in China, or it's made in the USA.
Dope.
I actually kind of don't want to produce stuff in China.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay more and do it really, really nice and have
like
a
that.
superb quality. That matters to me and the environment.
What's your first introduction to just the creative process of creating something and you know what, this was just a thought that now this is something tangible that I did?
Okay, first time I was exposed to art was when I watched my mother paint with oil. I didn't realize that, she had went to art school. My family wasn't pushy on it. They wanted me to kind of be more of a doctor and a lawyer. That's kind of like how our community went.
Right.
Or more of a professional.
Got it.
Art is a very hard sport to excel in. I call it a sport because it's kind of a game, you know, and it takes a lot of strategy and it takes a lot of discipline and consistency over time to really become, I guess, successful in it.
Right.
But seeing my mother inspired me to pursue doing art, but I wasn't so precise, and most art at the time was quite precise. I mean, if you look at an artist from back in the day like Miro, it's a little more abstract and a little bit different. But most artists, I realized they had their own style. What made them stand out, like Picasso, Cubism.
Right.
They did something for the first time, and they excelled in that style.
Dope.
So I developed a style that was digital and physical that complemented each other with very lavish and extreme counterpart, which is the event side, and the IRL, with the in real life experiences.
Got it.
So what really made us stand out and made me and my team kind of blow up was the fact that we were just like different. We coming from every different angle. We hit you from every different angle, whether it's the smell of the show, what you feel, what you're seeing, what you're listening to. It all matters. So we were able to touch your senses in many different ways. And and from there, I just experimented. I wasn't the best at drawing or anything like that, but I loved art. So I started to work with artists because I loved the way they all had such strong and different views on life and society and why they did things. So I worked with enough artists where I felt that it was time for me to start to express myself because I knew what I wanted and I knew what I wanted the world to see and hear. Although I do mess that up, I mess that up all the time. For the most part, I think I've been doing a pretty good job at expressing myself. Yeah. But it's a learning curve. It's always like, I think I'm a master. Like, I feel like you're a master of your craft. Right. And even when you are a master, you still are going to have some things you're going to learn down the line. So
when you, like, my wife has this thing she always tells me, she's like, yo, Barion, you don't never turn your brain off. Right. So I'm thinking you as a creative, I'm looking at the drip is branded, the iPad cover, it's a vibe always, right? Do you ever turn it off?
It's impossible. You should see my house. I paint all over the ceiling, the walls, dude. My kitchen's all painted. I wake up in the middle of the night. I sleep paint. I don't even know how I do this. I sleep paint or I sleep eat. It's weird, but it's cool. I like paint my kitchen. My microwave says stove on it in colors, like different colors. It's really a trip. You'll come over to the studio one day. We'll do a little paint session. But it's anybody that walks in my studio space or my home is a different person. It changes you. You realize that you can be free. Right. And people are scared to do that or explore that because they feel like what society tells you to do is how you should do it. For the most part, they're correct, but sometimes you can kind of veer a little bit, get in that gray area, challenge the norm, challenge the way people think, question things. It's okay. It's the only way to evolve culturally, I believe. So, but yeah, man, like I am naturally like this. There's no way to turn it off, and it's I used to be like, man, like it's too much, it's overwhelming sometimes, but I realized it's one of my gifts, so I learned to embrace it because that's what be living it, breathing it. Of course. Even my food is art. I cook all the time. I love it. I love to cook. Dope. And I do DoorDash sometimes. So. not a sponsored plug, by the way.
Man, my Uber Eats bill is like a car payment, and I'm just like, told my wife, hey, we gotta really cook at home more because. But she's like, oh, I just be in different moods. Like one mood, I want to go Thai. I'm in a Thai mood. And then I want to go to Caribbeans. And then I want to go to Puerto Rico. And then, so I'm like, okay, traveling the world is costing this much per month with Uber Eats. I'm terrible with it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so bad.
My accountant's like the wife I never had. Oh, he tells me all the time to chill out with that one.
I would say, what does the future of art look like for you? Because I feel like it's so limitless now. Where do you see this going?
Well, it's hard to predict. I feel like there's going to be more and more of a need for the arts. Companies are now starting to recruit creative directors, art directors, work with more artists. There's a lot more opportunity. People are starting to really understand and appreciate the cultural impact that artists have on the world. And I was reading somewhere that 10% of people think of creating. 10% of those people actually create. So there's a very small amount of creators out there. Right. And now you have that digital where there's money in the digital art. When I was creating, I create Giphies. I do it for free. Yeah. I don't make money off making digital art. Oh, wow. For that platform. I do it just because it's a form of meditation for me. Yeah. I love it. I know the algorithm. I can predict when it goes viral. It makes me feel good because I know. Got it. Every time I make one, one out of half of them, they get 10, 20 million views. Wow. I have 3 billion views across my digital art. More than a third of the world has seen my digital art. Yeah. Whether it's the word vote or the word peace when there's a conflict going on. And I think it's important to be able to express yourself, not always for money. Money sometimes can confine the artist because it creates boundaries. And if you can create not for money, I think you can be, you have the potential to be really a great artist.
That's dope.
You know, now living artists can actually have a nice life. You can actually make enough money to live comfortably.
Right.
Or look at, I mean, you have Damien Hirst or Jeff Koons, who are like, these guys are alive and worth, you know, net worth of multi-millions of dollars. Or a guy like Romero Brito, who's a huge inspiration to me. And like, I know him quite well. He's an amazing artist, but he's one of the biggest guys. He helped commercialize, you know, pop art, and he's alive and does very, very well. He speaks at schools all the time and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, now it's becoming quite limitless, and there's money in digital art now. So there's a lot of projects and stuff like that that you know, connect to the physical and bridge the gap between physical and digital art. I've actually conceptualized a few projects. You know, one of the projects I did that I helped produce, that was an NFT geared project. We did 50 million in volume traded in 3 months.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I parted with that project. I had no real option to. I just had to do what I thought was the right thing to do. And sometimes you have to walk away.
Right.
And it was after 4 months in. And yeah, after I had left, the project, the volume traded went you know, it was quite low. But it was a really fun project to be around, had a great community. I learned a ton. You know, I succeeded and maybe some would say failed, but that failure led me to where I am now, and that's working on some other projects that I'd like to talk to you about later on. But as you said, art now is more lucrative than ever. There's more of a need. You see it in commercials. Like I was just in, like a Netflix show just happened where it's like, it's like Jewish dating or something. It's hilarious. It's like top 10 though. And, you know, an ex-girlfriend hit me up. She's like, yo, your art's on, you know, go to 2 minutes and 30 seconds in episode 1. They show like Miami and it's your art.
Oh, fire.
They never hit me up though, which is okay. I'm flattered. And something that's important and I wanted to make a point of is like the artists suing these companies for when they put their art in a film or in a commercial or something like that. It's just got to stop. Because without them doing that, they're creating a market for you.
Right.
Why are you suing them? It's ridiculous. Like Mercedes-Benz had a huge one where this guy sued them. An artist I used to manage, had sued another big retailer, and then you're just scaring brands.
Right.
They're not going to want to work with artists. They're you know, they'll look for one loophole because most artists struggle financially, and they want. You know, and they go after me. I'm like, oh, I wanted to send him a thank you. I'm sending him a thank you letter. I'm like, yo, thanks for featuring me. I appreciate you guys acknowledging my existence and my art. That's cool to me.
Yeah.
You know, but it's how you look at it. So everybody has their own perspective, and I respect that.
When you think about like, let's say the music industry, right? I've interviewed a couple like artists and songwriters and things like that. That suffer from like, they say, you know what, I got writer's block, I can't create right now. Do you have any of that in your space, like art block, or you have to leave town to just reset and be like, all right, now I can get creative again?
Yes, but I have ways to fix that. I have some tips that help with writer's block and creation block.
Okay,
you know,
talk to me.
You're gonna hit a wall. It's completely normal as a creative. Things become stagnant. You know, like what's wow to me, you know, 4 months ago might be wow to someone else now, but it's not. This doesn't have the same effects. So you get used to it. One of the things you should do is ask yourself, what are you doing differently? What are you doing the same? Find things that you're doing maybe you're too repetitive. Maybe you should change up your routine. Maybe you should eat something different. You don't always have to run away, but maybe getting in that an extra workout might clear your mind. Listening to a new genre of music. You know, I get a lot of inspo from lyrics.
I like that.
Like Julian Casablancas, you know, he's from the Strokes, he's the lead singer. Like I listen to his projects and the way he writes and he sings and what he's talking about helps me come up with different concepts and stuff like that. Just browsing on the internet, doing different types of improvement, self-help. Just don't do the same thing over and over and expect the same results.
Right.
If you want to write, you're going to want to write about something new or create something a little different than what you've created in the past, or it's not real art, right?
No, I get
a printing
that.
machine, right?
Of course.
So, or a copycat.
Yeah. The drum roll.
But that's the key is find what your routine is, do something different. You don't got to reinvent the wheel, but go do a different workout. Go listen to a different song. Be open-minded. If you're closed-minded, it'll never work for you.
What do you like? Because I've seen like, I have this thought of us as creatives, right? Like I want to come out with these shirts called "We Are the Hybrids," right? So a lot of creatives struggle with the business aspect of being a creative, right? So I call us the hybrids because I'm like, yo, we're the perfect combination of creativity and then we still understand the business aspect. Why do you think most creatives struggle with the business part?
It's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
Like it took me like, I mean, figuring out, I studied business. I went to Florida State. I had a bachelor's in business and hospitality. And I've always had startups, whether it was like a little kid. I worked at 4 years old. I was working in my father's factory. My father, he needed, family help to help this business. So we all worked together. Me and my mom, my little sister, and I would put little caps of the little cap on the perfumes. We did imitation perfumes. So like for people that can't really afford the Armani,
like the renditions.
My dad would match the scent because he was a chemist, and he would create a label that was similar. It wasn't Armani, but it smelt and looked like Armani, right? And that was a good way to help people that may not be able to afford an $80 bottle of cologne still be more confident and for $15 smell good just as good, and that's cool. But yeah, I mean. What was it?
The business.
Oh yeah, the business side. The business side is obviously something that everyone struggles with. And luckily, I went to school, and I actually liked school, and I felt it was a very important part of my of finding myself and fueling my career in art, because I know what's going to work financially and what's not. I mean, for the most part, I've definitely done shows where I've lost $500,000, which was also, I laugh at it. It's hilarious. Like, I had Amex one time, like $300,000, and I'm like paying them for it was like 10 months of paying them.
My goodness.
Yeah, but you know what? That's part of it. And like being able to look back and see that happened to me, it's like, it's great. It's like, I did it. I came out of it. It made me stronger, and understanding and facing that, it gets easier. You gotta understand business. There's tons of books out there, easy reads. There's 50 to 100 pages that can help you with steps and tricks to like kind of getting ahead in that realm. And if you don't know business, you won't succeed as an artist. You just can't. It's nearly impossible.
I had my wife thinks I'm addicted to starting businesses, right? And I just be having so many ideas that I never want to be the shoulda, woulda, coulda guy and never tried it. So I always be like, yo, I'm gonna fail fast and keep it moving. But I think what I struggle with was every time I find something that's a creative outlet, I'm always thinking about the business, right? So I'm like, I really want a hobby that I can just do it and just be creative. So I bought a sewing machine.
I did too.
Did you?
Well, I borrowed it from I swear to God, I got a sewing machine. I got two.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, tell me about yours. Which kind of it?
I bought this sewing machine. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. I just was like, you know what? I want to learn how to sew. I got a little Singer heavy duty, and just the sound of the needle and me just alone with this sewing machine is so relaxing, bro.
Music.
It's like music, and I'm just I'm just in there just tearing apart collars off shirts and putting them back on, learning about pockets and
that's really cool.
That's my new thing is the sewing. Me and the sewing machine.
I literally just got one, and one of my friends came over. He's like, "Man, you're going through it. You got a sewing machine." I'm like, "Oh my God, I guess we're both." Yeah, I swear. He's like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And my friend Isabella from the Animal Rescue, I had bought a small one from Amazon. It was like $40, $50. It looked a lot bigger in the pictures, but the thing was, I can't even sew like a napkin. So I was like, I'm done with this one. So she came over and brought over like a heavy duty one. Yeah. So I still have to do my, I just set it up in my studio, but I'll send you a photo later. But I have to do the training. I still got to kind of learn. But I was going to go to YouTube University and figure that out.
So this is what you do. So that's me. I'm YouTube University. I'm like, all right, I'm learning all the different stitches. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I went to Joann's. I'm like, I'm going to buy some fabrics.
I love her. I love Joanne.
So I go to Joann's and the lady's like, hey, I noticed you've been coming here every week, but you never really buy no fabrics. And I was like, man, I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, well, here at Joann's, we have a weekly sewing class. It's free. You should come. And I'm like, oh gosh, go to Joann's. Go to Joann's.
I'm going.
You start off with the pillow. And
did
each
you make this
week,
one?
No.
I was gonna say you did a great job.
Nah, I wish. You start off with the pillow, and then they just have these little weekly classes you can sign up for at Joann's.
I love it. I'm gonna have to, let my girlfriend know about Joanne first, because I don't want no problems. And last time I had a Latina, and then things went crazy with. Oh no, she's like, "Who's Joanne?" And I'm like, "How do you get into my checking account?" Who's Joanne?
Damn.
You better not have any Joannes.
So that's my new thing, man. The sewing machine. It's allowing me to be creative. So I started thrifting, going to like Goodwills, right? Just finding denim that I can rip up and repurpose and stuff like that. And I made one jacket, and after I made the jacket, it sold. And I'm like, oh, I did not want this to be a business. And now I got a whole sustainable fashion line now called Baron Lamont.
Love that.
And it's just like, oh, my wife's like, it didn't just stay a hobby, did it? I seen you got a website up and all of this stuff, and I can't help it.
That's good though. It's healthy. I think it's healthy, and that's how I kind of have with me too. Same. It was like it was an accident. Like I was just doing it for because I wanted to do it. Yeah. And then I went out with these glasses. I'm in the club. I'm with one of my friends is DJing or whatever. So I'm like in the DJ booth, and someone sees the glasses, and he's like, people always compliment them, but. At night for someone to go out and be like, can I buy them off you? I'm like, dude, I don't even know. I don't even want to talk about it. Like, you can't, these are my samples. I only have like 3. Yeah. I just got them. And he's like, I'll give you $1,000. I'm like, he had cash. I'm like $1,000. It's like 3 years ago. I'm
that was it, right?
$1,000. I'm like, it's kind of a lot of money. Yeah. And I go, honestly, they're worth so. I'm one of those though. And this is something that I have to. I have a trouble letting things go as an artist because I have an emotional attachment to my creations. Of course. So instead of selling things, I end up a hoarder. I just keep everything, and I didn't want to sell them. Oh, snap. But then he offered me $1,500, so I did sell them. Oh, but
he hit the number.
Yes, but I've been offered many times where each pair cost me about $120 plus my time.
Of course.
Not including the box or whatever. Right. But it's pretty expensive. You can make them for $15 in China if I wanted to, but I like a heavy, nice material, kind of like Gucci or LV or whatever. But I've been out many times and people offered me $500, $700. I won't do it. Those are they're my babies. They're my prototypes. And now that we were going public with the company. Not public on the stock market, but it's public information that you could order the glasses. Got it. And we have inventory that gets here in the next 2-3 weeks, straight from Italy with new colorways. We're working on our second shape comes out as well, the Mr. Meows, and the third shape is next 2 months. Okay, we should have 10 shapes by Q2 of 2024. Wow. And we're currently in talks with department stores, and that was literally off of one creation that I created for fun. Wow. And it's happened, and it's really a really cool thing. It's a blessing.
What do you say to because I think like any business, right? It's clear you passionate about art, right? And creating. And because now people that see that it's a lucrative play that just jump in there, no passion for art, but they's like, yo, this is a money grab.
Exactly.
How do you feel? What's this?
And I've been in situations like that where people, try to partner with me and I realize that their goal is not the arts and their goal is straight up money. And I say, I can't work with you. Right. Like, I don't like it. It's not why art should be created. Got it. And, people should invest in art and artists that are creating good concepts and sending good messages that impact the world, obviously. Right. And supporting artists, because it's really like, when you're an artist, you're really it's really a giant give back. Of course. You're literally, I do calls with artists that need help that can't afford the direction, can maybe not be able to afford to go to a school. Right. So I do dedicate some time to helping others. Sometimes they're older, sometimes they're younger. Right. Usually it's younger, but typically, I've noticed that without money makes the world go around a lot of times, but I think passion and heart makes it go around too, and a nice mixture of that. where you need to have a sustainable model.
Yeah.
You can't just be an artist and not make money. You have to make money, or how are you going to run?
Right.
Paint's expensive. Canvases are expensive. People don't realize how much goes into making art. Sometimes it takes me 3 years to do one painting this big. Like, you know, it could take me 3 years because the concept isn't to my. I don't feel it's completely done.
Got it.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of unfortunate.
It's the gift and the curse, right?
I mean, it's what's going to happen. I mean,
the reason I asked that is because what was it? Maybe 2 years ago with the duct tape and the banana.
Yes. Okay, I'm very familiar with that. So that was a really good publicity stunt. I know publicity stunts because I do them all the time. I'm actually one of the king of. I call myself the king of stunts just because I like to make history with them.
Yeah.
Well, I don't call myself that, but sometimes I do. It depends on what mood I'm in.
But no, I think. But that's a good point because we was talking a little off camera. We wasn't privy to this game he was spitting, but you kind of have the talent is there. You're talented, but then you understand the algorithms and you understand the virality aspect of how do you study this to get
experience? It's literally wearing yourself out beyond the point that you can even, like, sometimes I go so hard.
Yeah.
I don't, like, now I rest every day. I used to not rest every day, okay, which is not something I condone or I think it's healthy, but I'm a little bit out there, and that was just my process. I would like to get my mind in different states, so I would go as hard as possible.
Got it.
Like, as humanly possible, in order to get, you know, that stimulation and become, you know, what I am now.
Right.
Now I'm a lot more strategic, but, you know, taking many, many risks, and it's all about it. Look, you can read a book and you're going to learn a lot, but being around, interning and investing your time, talking to people, the internet's very powerful. Google it. Like,
facts.
It's not like people ask me a question, I go, Google it, dude. Like you want to know? If you teach yourself, you'll probably retain the information more than if someone else tells you it. It's, you know, it's on the internet.
It's the sweat. It's the sweat equity, right?
But yeah, like you, like I'm a hybrid like you, and that's one of the things that draws me to you and what you do is that you're good. You can play. You're like Jordan. You could play all that. You could shoot. You could dunk. You could jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could defend.
Of course.
And that's what you got to do. You can't just be the best shooter.
Right.
Someone else is going to come in and outshoot you. But if you're the bomb all around, you'll get by me once, but I'll rebound and dunk on you right after.
Do people ever tell you do too much?
Yes, all the time.
What's
I started to slow down with it. I started to really listen to other people a lot more and started to listen to myself because, like, just because you're successful doesn't mean you're right a lot of times. And that's a lot of people struggle with that because they think that, you know, I've been on my high horse and like I've been like where it's like, oh shit, like, and everything I do is gold, everything. And then I fall on my ass.
Of course.
You know, real hard. Yeah. And getting back up is like the hardest thing. To rebuild, the hardest. Building from scratch, no problem. Try relinking your Instagram to your website that you forgot your password or whatever, you know. It's difficult. Yeah. So, but yeah, I have a lot of fun building businesses, and hobbies are the best businesses are hobbies, something that are passionate. To be happy, do what you love. Like, I don't work.
Yeah.
I really don't work.
I tell people all the time, I said, you know, for me, the camera, like where I'm from, you gonna rap or you gonna play sports. That's it. That's what we think is our get out of the hood card, right? So I was like, you know, the photography camera can be the new basketball. Like anything, art can be the new basketball. You don't have to play sports. You don't have to rap. You know, like it's so many opportunities to just be creative but I don't think it's enough people talking about it.
Yes.
Or maybe they don't see enough people successful.
Yeah, and hence the word starving artist. You know, you don't hear that for no reason. Right. It's very, very hard. And like, I've been there, you know, where it's like, what the fuck am I going to eat? I'm like, shit. I'm like, I'm literally eating ramen noodles, not kidding, you know, like shit like that. But going through that is like the best thing. And like, if you're not taking risks, it just never work out. You gotta jump. You gotta play not just to win, but play for experience.
Got it.
And that's the most. Learn about what it is where you went right, where you went wrong. Write it down.
Right.
You know, and some of the things like I do is I write everywhere. I know my house is a giant notebook. My studio is a giant notebook. Like you go in there, you see you know when I wrote what I wrote on that wall, why I wrote it. Talking ceiling everywhere.
Fire.
Like just like I had one where it's like fucking Zoom meetings, and I was just fed up with these Zoom meetings. They kept, I work with this corporate company, and it was just like I'm a creative. Like my schedule is a little different than yours. It's just not. I can't have a set time every day.
That structure.
I could do half the week where it's business structure, and then other half the week where it's creative. I like to mix it because I'm a hybrid.
Of course.
Too much structure throws me off. It fucks up my flow, messes up my creative ability to not be, because like I don't want to worry about making a meeting tomorrow. Yeah. If I want to create till 10 in the morning, because I'm in the zone, I'm going to create till 10 in the morning. Fine. I might miss my 1 p.m. Of course. Sorry. Oops.
How do
That's why you hired me. Don't get mad at me because I missed that meeting. You hired me because of my talent and and the way I move.
Yeah.
You can't take that. It's like taking, an ingredient out of that awesome soup or pizza. Yeah. It's like I came for the sweet marinara sauce at Steve's Pizza, not for the, for the crust, and just like mushrooms on it or something. I want that extra marinara on there.
What's your thoughts on AI in the art space?
Very interesting. That's a good question. Okay, at first, dude, honestly, whoa, the AI shit.
I gotta ask.
I'll tell you, insane. It's super cool. I'm thankful for it. It actually has. My brand and I and my team have figured out ways to harness AI and to use it, to utilize it and learn more about it. But it's going to create a lot of it. It's going to create interesting positions or take away interesting positions from a lot of different kinds of jobs out there, creative and not creative. Now, the beautiful thing about art is usually it's unpredictable. Great art is unpredictable. It evokes emotion, makes you feel.
Yeah.
Robots, I don't think are going to be able to do that. Not the way a real artist can move. They're going to be able to replicate a painting. Yeah, it can create a series. That's no problem. Yeah. But a robot will not be able to do what Romero Brito did. A robot will not be able to do put together an event like I put together an event. Right. It doesn't have that capacity. It's different. Yeah. There's too many variables. Yeah. But I do understand that it will play a crucial role in the way things work and the way things, marketing, different creative outlets. It's going to be amazing for education. But at the same time, don't believe everything you see. Right. Don't believe everything you read. Right. Use your judgment. Don't be a dummy and believe 100% of everything. You're human. Yeah. Believe 80%, 70%.
I get it.
Use your judgment. Cross-reference things. Even a robot is wrong. Look at ChatGPT. Have you used it?
I've been grooming my ChatGPT because this guy, he gets smart to me all the time. Like, Baron, I'm not that. I don't have emotions. He's like, talks back.
Exactly. You see what you just said?
He talks back.
You see? Yeah. But it does have emotions. Why is he talking back?
So I tell people, I'm not this AI advocate. What I tell people is find a way to use AI to help maybe in tasks that you hate doing, right? It don't have to be, from a creative standpoint, I do a lot of writing, but for me, I can go to ChatGPT and maybe bounce some ideas and say, hey, ChatGPT, can this be refined, right?
Exactly. It's a great way, and that's a good, actually, you're right, with the writer's block. Yeah. That's a good way to do that. I just realized if you go on it can give you a nice little base, an outline, and then you just kind of correct it. And, and it'll give you a good starting point. That's it. I mean, it's to be transparent, I've used it and asked it questions, even if you want to start a business. Hey, what would be a relevant series to do on art that goes with my style? You can tell it my style of art is this. It's obviously what year it is, when you want to when you want to drop the collection. It might tell you do a collection around the time Thanksgiving that involves family-oriented holiday cards or something. That could be a cool.
And that's the thing. I'm like, yo, it's just a different maybe perspective that you didn't think about. That's like, oh man, ChatGPT opened my eyes. Maybe that might be a direction, and then I just take over from there. But he prompts and helps.
Exactly. And like, I look at like AI as like, you know, that friend that you listen to sometimes, but sometimes you're like, what the fuck you saying, dude?
Right.
Like, you know, that one friend, he has like gone too many drinks. And you're like, guys,
100%.
all right, you're slurring.
That's it. I love it.
You know, but sometimes, hey, they speak the truth and they'll say things that really hit the nail on the head, you know? Yeah. And I've used it a lot, and it was scary as a creator at first, because I was like, most creators question their ability to create. It's normal. You know, you have self-doubt. Like, sometimes I'm nervous to show a painting. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, people think I'm usually very, very confident, but a lot of times I'm a little scared, and that's okay. I can be a scaredy cat. And I'm like showing a body of work. What if they hate it? What if they don't? What if they love it?
Right.
And it takes having a good community. And this doesn't apply just for the arts, but in business. Be around good people. Like, be around Barons. Be around Marcel's. People that are going to like support you, or at least be honest enough to tell you where you can be a little better.
Right.
You know, and that's always appreciated. And 100%. I think that who you surround yourself with affects your ability to succeed in whether it's business,
100%,
or whatever it is. I mean, art is a business.
100%.
You know, you have to look at it, treat it as a business. You know, politics are a business too, but we're not going to go into that one.
Fact. So, what are you currently working on right now that you can tell us about? Okay. I know you probably got so much that you can't talk about. But
few things. One thing I'm going to drop at. Well, first thing, I'm going to tell you something exclusive. No, this is the first time I've talked about it. And people know me as the Art Plug. That's one of my like personalities. Yes. I started Art Plug, Marcel Katz Art, a few other brands. And now I've come to a point in my life where I want to create and come to the public with my alter ego, which is Mr. Meow.
Mr. Meow.
Yes. So I'm a refined art personality. You'll catch me wearing different types of things. I've created a custom frame for my new look, and instead of these are the bolts. Here are the bolts. So this is the Art Plug. This is what the Art Plug wears.
Okay.
You see these?
That's Art Plug.
You know it's me.
So Mr. Meow is going to be what?
Mr. Meow is more
like a
button down,
like
suit.
an optic.
Exactly. Yeah, kind of like that. And I have the new frame has like little cat eyes like on top of it.
Like Uncle Moneybags from Mr. Monopoly.
Yes, yeah, kind of like that, exactly. So I'm going to have two personalities. People say I'm a little wild, so I'm going to keep that wild side, but sometimes I'm going to be a little more refined.
So who's going to get booked more, the Art Plug or Mr. Meow?
Well, we're a package deal. We're like a number 9. So we come together.
Got it.
You know, and I have a lookalike too. He's going to come in and step it in.
Art Plug is from 8 to 10 and then...
Well, man, this is going to get interesting. I'm still figuring out how it's going to work, but this has been something I've been thinking about for a long time, and I'm going to be unveiling that in the next few months. Mm-hmm. And then another thing that we're working on, which is I'm super proud of and super excited to be a part of, is this fundraiser that we're calling the Art of Animals. And I love animals. I know you have a dog.
Yes.
I had a rescue. So, I found this dog and I named her Stella. Mm-hmm. I worked her into a Stella Artois thing. I'm like, yo, I'll brand, since I had no name for it, I'm like, I'll call my dog Stella, include that in the deal. About getting creative in business deals, see?
That's fire.
So I have a warm spot for rescues. A good friend of mine helped me with my cat recently. Because I had a newborn. My cat was pregnant. I didn't know. I don't know what she did. And there was babies, and she came over, helped me out with her husband, who's a veterinarian. It was like 6, 7 in the morning to help me with the newborn, the placenta, whatever. Anyways, we are hosting an event in June. I'm going to tell you where it is. The location is, I can't announce it just yet. But the fundraiser is live. It's with Positive Beings.
Okay.
And it's a nonprofit that my friend Isabella has started. So that's like my something I'm really excited about. And it's next month. Yeah. But the fundraiser has started already.
Got it.
And we're going to be doing a bunch of freebies, giveaways, like dog and cat bandanas, a mini art exhibition. There's going to be a bar. You can get drinks. And basically kick it with us for 6 to 10 hours.
I feel like I need you to... So I have a nonprofit.
Okay.
Called Save the Creatives.
Ooh, okay.
And I feel like I need you to meet these.
Let's do it.
And it's
anything I can do.
So we have our first guy that's like special. And he's a photographer. So most of our photographers, I mean, we got one as young as 14, we got one as old as 60. So this comes to our workshops. We do a workshop once a month, just teaching photography and how to be as creative and get shots and
keep
and
inspiring each other.
Keep inspiring.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do them in studios. We do them outside. We did fashion at the beach last month. This month we're doing models, cars, and art. This will be this Sunday. And we do it.
Go. I should come by.
You should come.
Yeah. Well,
should come by.
After this, tell us the details. What are you talking about?
So it's going to be at the Showroom Miami from 1 to 4, and it's what's the artist? Scott Marskis?
Oh yes, I know. I'm familiar.
Scott.
Heard of. So I know that room. Who runs it? It's this good guy. I forgot. They do a lot of stuff during Basel, but during Basel we could do something.
Let's
during
do it.
Art Week, Miami Art Week.
Yeah,
there's plenty of space, and I usually do a fair, and there's a lot of opportunity for things like this.
That's
How
dope.
many people are in the?
So we try to, depending on the location, we trying to kind of cap how many photographers.
Yes,
I just call all my model friends and they pull up and be the models.
Let's do one at my studio one day.
Let's do it.
That'd be cool.
I love that.
Yeah, another thing is doing give back. I think give back is super important.
That's my thing, man. I'm like, I've made a lot of money, but how many lives did I impact?
Exactly.
So for me, the nonprofit was important.
Super cool.
For me. So for somebody that's looking at the Art Plug and Marcel Katz and Mr. Meow, what's one piece of advice you can leave with somebody that want to just get started? They've been just online watching everybody else in the game.
Well, bleed in color, something I say. Bleed in rainbow, not in red.
I love that.
Your experiences should make you, not break you.
I love that.
So, even though life could be hard or life is really good, remember those moments because it can change very quickly. And you want to make sure that you're prepared for change correctly. That way you're not overwhelmed and understand that what you've been through is a blessing and it's part of why you're so special. And everybody's like a piece of puzzle. Just because you don't fit somewhere doesn't mean you don't fit. Just find where you fit in the puzzle. Life is a puzzle.
I love that.
Everyone's cut out differently. You know what I mean? Just because people may not appreciate you right where you are, change where you're at. Go try a different setting. Go somewhere else. Find where you're loved.
I love that.
So.
Y'all been tuned in to another episode of the Everyday Game Changers, man. Marcel came through and blessed us with so many gems. He's gonna have a lot of reels that are gonna go viral from this game he been dropping. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you.